another episode of the Convoluted podcast. It's your host, Jesus, aka Tyrant, Dominus, and I'm here with Liz.
Hey!
And if it's your first time listening or watching, you can always follow or subscribe. It's free, and you can always unfollow and unsubscribe. So, Liz,
We would appreciate it.
exactly. Yes, we would appreciate it. How have you been, Liz?
Wow, I feel like it wasn't that long ago we were on our last podcast. Saturday to Friday, yeah.
Has your week gone that fast? It's been a long week for me, so.
Feels like a long week, but at the same time, really fast. So I had a really kind of a crazy schedule. I was biking to and from work.
Good weather.
It was good weather, yeah. And then I'm just a lot of things going on and calculating everything out. So it's been one of those weeks. I just catching up on work and yeah. So, how are you?
It's been, like I said, it's been a bit of a long week. Just I kind of had I almost had a summer cold, I would say. I was a little bit under the weather, but it didn't last long. I kind of slept it off quick and easy.
That's good.
Yeah. Besides that, yeah, it's just been a long week. In general, just trying to catch up, sleep, stuff like that. And yeah, just overall, nothing really new to report. Same thing with, work is work. Once again, we lost another one. Nothing really to report there. Just
I know, and bites the dust.
exactly.
But I don't. Yeah, I guess I get it. On so many levels. Yeah,
So yeah,
it is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
So, but we get to look forward to some fun tonight. For me, everybody check out our Insta. Maybe it'll still be up there when we post this podcast.
Yeah, remember this.
Hopefully, or TikToks, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, by the time this gets released, there should be something. Instagram. Oh yeah, you can check out. So yeah, so you want to see what we did a little bit before this episode gets released. You can see it's gonna be posted on Instagram. We're gonna be hanging out. I think June for sure. Like I was mentioning in last episode, June has been my most active, but I think I want to slow down a little bit.
I want to slow down. So, no such thing. I will keep you active because I have only 2 months from today's airing to my big event.
Oh yeah, that's coming up. So yeah, we might be doing a bonus episode if you guys really want to know what that's about. She has a lot, but that's behind the paywall if you want to know. But yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's been an active week. Actually, recently, my sister, we just yesterday. That's kind of reason I was kind of busy all day. We were just going around doing a bunch of errands for her wedding, as some of you might know.
Is that ever actually happening? I mean, I have not even received.
They just got them yesterday. On the day of the recording, they just got them. I was helping them basically prep I was about to end up being on the assembly line of creating all these intricate invitations. But yeah, everything came in earlier in the week. They picked up a couple things. We were out on the road for 5 hours hunting down items for these things because everything, I don't blame it. I don't blame it because it's an important moment, right? But man, trying to just get intricate looking invitations, oh my god. So we were out for a good chunk of time. My entire family, because originally we were just gonna pick up a few things and then grab some lunch and then come home, but then that little venture turned into an endeavor. But yeah,
I'm sorry.
So yeah,
I feel like that has not been me, thankfully. Yeah, just trying to cramp too much on one of my days off. That's all.
But for the most part, yeah. So yeah, it should anyone. Yeah, for the most part, I'm happy. They're getting everything get together. I know it's hard to get all this wedding stuff situated, but yeah. At least I was able to help them grab a few things and get them prepped because I think as we're recording this, they're about to start getting over 100 invites, nice and packed. And
so I'll get mine this afternoon.
Hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, because I went to take a nap right after they kind of finalized how they wanted it to look. So because originally it was supposed to take about 5 minutes to make one invite. So I'm like, oh my god. So it's like 500. Wait, what's 500?
500 times 5 minutes. Ooh.
No, 100. A little over 100. I would say. Let's just say
Oh, a
like.
little over 100. So yeah, you're looking at like 500 minutes.
So let's see, 500 minutes divided by 60, like 8 hours of work. And but there's hopefully I can hide in my office for for all this. By the time that anyone's
I'm
listening,
helping. I'm helping, right?
um,
Helping you hide.
it's gonna take about 4 to 5 hours to make all the invites if it's like two people. So yeah, like I said, we'll see how that goes. I saw the end result. I saw kind of the finished product before I came to record. It looks nice. It looks intricate. I see what they're trying to go for, and I just don't want to be spending 8 hours of my day off on that.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I'd rather be talking with everyone here and talking about some of the crazy stories that happened this past week, because there has been some good, some bad, and some really disturbing. But yeah, let's jump
That
into
is for sure.
Let's jump into the one. Liz kind of had one that just popped out in talking about lunch. And
Does anybody remember Stone Soup? The book. The story, I don't know. It was a little short story. We were kids. Stone Soup, about getting like potatoes and carrots and onions, and it was a neighborhood, and it was a soldier that joined them. It was an interesting. I don't know if you guys remember this. Well, let's see what China stepped it up to. World's hardest dish. Stir-fried stones are China's latest street food fad. Dubbed the world's hardest dish, literally a traditional stir fry featuring stones as its key ingredient, it sparks culinary curiosity on Chinese social media. Patrons are supposed to suck on the small stones to relish the rich and spicy flavor of the dish, which originated in eastern Chinese province of Hubei. They instructed to suck off the flavors and spit out the rocks. Hence, this dish's stupid commercial ad. Hence the dish's name. I'm gonna probably mutilate this. Suduyo, which means suck and dispose. Videos of internet users sampling Sudoku was sprung up all over the Chinese social media platforms over the past week. Yeah, the unusual dish is being done by vendors, and it's chili oil.
That's what you think it is. It's like stir fried with just rocks mixed in, smooth rocks into it. Originally, when I saw him, like, man, people are getting desperate and out there, man. The economy.
Honestly, we will be coming to that point with the way the inflation is. You think about it.
Because I was talking to because there was some random talk at on our break room. The people were getting so desperate they want to know how to cook pet food. That's how people are. Like, pet food is so cheap. Because people forget that pet food is technically human grade, because if you can't feed it for humans, you shouldn't be feeding it to.
True.
So, but yeah, technically speaking, if you are desperate, you can eat your pet food, like, but you really need to go Gordon Ramsay on that shit to make it like
yeah,
get some nice side dishes.
A lot of spices and stuff like that.
But for the most part, yeah, it's like when you get to the point where you're like, I just eat pet food. It's like now you're like, I'm eating stones and stuff. Like, I get it. It's a cultural thing. But it's one of those things like you find interesting. I would never have thought it sounds more like a meme or a joke.
Yeah, it really does. It's like that storyline. That's literally what reminded me. Stone Soup. I don't know if anybody remembers Stone Soup, but I definitely remember it.
I don't.
Well, you need to read. Okay, culture up.
I read 5 times more than you do. Anyway, so I was.
I don't have time to read. Okay, it's not my fault.
It's called audiobooks, man. You work and you.
What? When am I supposed to have audiobooks when I'm sleeping?
Exactly. You can integrate it while you sleep. But anyway, let's see. So I found some interesting things. An interesting comment made on Twitter was, Quote, an old Chinese culture thing when food was scarce and there was very little to no food. The river rocks were very porous and had a fishy taste to them, so they would garnish them to suck on them for flavor. That's kind of what we read in that article. So like what people are doing now is younger Chinese people are now using it as a meme to say, look how ridiculous this is. We're going to end up like our relatives in the past, referring to the economic situation and so more street side stalls have started popping up because young people are going to get it and take photos because people are like, oh look, meme. Because yeah, that's kind of our culture too. It's like people are memeing this. That gets more vendors, gets more views, gets so they make more money from the joke. But the joke is that their economy is bad. Or just in general, our economy
I
is
think
bad.
economy all over the place. I mean, it's just not just one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we, for the most part, when we talk about it, we're talking about like the U.S. economy, but the for the most part, the world economy, like everything touches everything, and we've talked about stories in Europe and Australia, up to our friends up north in Canada. It affects everyone, and it is it's tough. It's tough no matter what. To the point
Yeah.
where we're eating rocks. To the point where we're eating rocks.
I mean, you
Bruh.
are kind of getting your minerals per se when you're stuck on those rocks. So hopefully those rocks are clean.
Yeah, from what it looks like, you wash them, you cook them while they're in the stir fry. I'm kind of watching the little mini video that they have, Twitter. And yeah, you eat the stir fry and suck on the rock and kind of just spit them out. And it's like if you have bones and stuff like that, just spit the bones out. But it's to the point where the meme is like, look, we're gonna end up like our parents. There's a lot of people that are speculating how it's an interesting one, dude, where you get into the politics, and it's not really our thing to talk about politics. We're not political people. We are not gonna.
No, we're not.
But it's one of those things where people are politicizing the how people were more well off during the Depression. I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense. The Depression was called the Depression. It's bad. Bad.
Yeah, there are people who are selling their kids suppression bad.
And like, nah, people weren't happy about that. There's more money to go around. Like, no, there's barely any money to go around. There's a lot to that nuance, and I'm not gonna jump into it. The only thing I brought up is that there's different points in time where, like, it happened. We had what was the most recent recession that happened? The housing
2008.
2008, yeah.
What's the
And
worst? I mean, I don't know if anybody remembers that. So, I
maybe
mean, I had a hard time getting a job back in 2008. And that's how bad I remember it. So,
so
I
yeah.
couldn't even be hired for fast food.
Yeah, 2008. So it was rough no matter what. So and we're just in another little dip again as far as that. It's if you have to resort to any rocks.
Yeah, I just saw something for our local state, Oregon, how they were increasing the minimum wage again to $15.45 for the metro area of Portland, itself, up to 85 cents or 45 cents. What did they said? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
As of July 1st, and the little tip that they left at the end. Somebody needs to make $29.45 to live comfortably in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Didn't we say that? We made that
Yes, yeah, we did say that. I
hope-
mean, I just thought it was so weird how they said that comment, and I was like, that's a interesting tidbit to be leaving on that. So that's how it drops the video on the TikTok when I watched it. I was like, interesting. So I think they did that purposely, but I believe that's true. I mean, just to live comfortably.
Yeah, we've said it multiple times. They're like
We said $40 was a really comfortable living.
that was in Oregon, right? That's the Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon.
Like what did we call it? The golden spot.
The golden spot, exactly.
Yeah, the golden spot is like it is what you can live comfortably. The American dream golden spot, right? Is $40 for a single person. It's like, wow, that's not gonna happen. You need to work 2 full-time jobs to get close to that. That's to get close. That's not to. But yeah, that's our economy talk. But continue within the food market, we have another one kind of related. So apparently, school officials looked the other way as students ate tainted chicken. Aren't you happy for your kid to be going to school?
She doesn't eat any of the hot lunches, so we're even better.
That's even better. It's smart to keep them away from that. So, a former senior official in New York City's District of Education on Wednesday was found guilty in sprawling bribery schemes that saw him turn a blind eye as public school students were served up chicken tenders tainted with bits of metal, plastic, and bone.
Ugh.
Imagine if you were at school and you were just eating your school lunch and then like, what?
Why does it taste coppery? Why does it taste like metal? What's this? It's plastic.
So the official, Eric Goldstein, was convicted of conspiracy, extortion, wild fraud, and taking bribes. No, makes sense, right? Making sense. Make that money.
Yeah.
His 3 co-defendants, the owners of the Texas-based food provider called Soma Food Group, was found guilty of conspiracy, wire fraud, and bribery. Oh, all the same. Goldstein, once the head of the Department of Office of the School Supports Services, brokered a corrupt business relationship with Soma in 2015. Prosecutors said, "I'm going to buy lots of fucking chicken from you guys." Damn, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna buy from you because you are gonna make it. Goldstein told one of the Soma owners that year, according to the prosecutors, "Let's do the beef." Goldstein then repeatedly cleared the way for tainted food to appear on public school cafeteria menus, despite the increasing number of disturbing reports, including a 2016 incident where a school employee choked on a bone and requiring the Heimlich
remove. Man.
There's more to the story.
Man.
But my God, that you gotta love that these are the people who are like, yeah, I'm gonna help the children after I line my pockets.
Poor kids. Oh man. Heavy metals. Oh my God. They don't get out of your body. They stay in there for years.
That's a sad thing. It says that this is where kind of where the point.
I mean, we're already having microplastics in our food as it is. Yep. You know.
And if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's just like little scraps of plastic. If you want an interesting video, I've seen a TikTok and there's a YouTube video where you can see it. So you be wary when you look at what is it? Those square cheeses, those packets of square cheese. Like if you see that,
I don't get that.
There's like microplastics in. So yeah.
No, thank you.
There's like there's an interesting video where they just do a microscope and zoom in. And you can see little plastics.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
So yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing that these are the people who are like, you know what, they're in charge of the schooling system to the point where like, okay, how are we gonna provide for the kids in their meal state? I'm like, you know what? From what I was looking into a little bit more outside this article, apparently he actually was a part of the company Soma.
Snap.
So yeah, he was just trying to get that bank, trying to get that money in the most.
Aren't we all?
True.
I guess.
But I think we're not harming children, you know.
No, we're not. We're just doing a podcast and being funny and silly.
Now, if you want to buy our latest bread sandwich filled with metal, wood, and metal plastics, you know, it's our newest product coming around the corner. Liz has been working on her recipe for a very long time, and I think we're just past the process.
And it's gluten-free.
It's gluten-free bread with scraps of metal, plastic, and wood. Like it tastes fantastic. So yeah, this is it. This is kind of where we're at. So we'll see what this goes, and hopefully, moving forward, that whatever. That's the thing. It's just like it's just money. Like there's just taxpayers' money. It's like there's where the city of New York's money goes to, or the state of New York, or whatever. Just the taxpayers in general. This is how it goes. It just goes like, the money is supposed to, a portion of it go back into the schooling systems. Like, oh, and that money, like, you know what? No, I'm going to make a deal with this company that I, quote, portionally own. Just make more money. Money upon money upon money out of the expense of others. Maybe he thought it was maybe like, oh, it's good chicken. It's good food. You know, maybe the benefit of the doubt. But after a couple incidents, like, like, oh shit, fucked up. And at this point, it's if you're if you're convicted for conspiracy, extortion, wire fraud, and bribery, yeah, you're in proof some pretty shady stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. The mob was involved. All right.
All right, let's do
Should we
some.
go?
Let's do a fun one. The delay one. The private party plane.
Oh, okay. We're gonna do that one instead of the other one. Okay. All right. So hold on. I gotta pull it up. My
What?
bad.
You don't want to fly private, Liz?
Traveler enjoys entire plane to himself. Private party after an 18-hour flight delay.
So a little context, a little bit, because when I originally saw this story, I was about to talk about the previous thing about how, because originally people were hating on this individual because they thought he bought every ticket to make a 10-second TikTok. So what actually happened, Liz?
Forget first class. North Carolina man received the flight upgrade of a lifetime when he got an entire plane to himself after the original flight was delayed 18 hours on Sunday. Phil Stringer was the only passenger to show up at the gate when his long-delayed 6:20 a.m. flight from Oklahoma City to Charlotte, North Carolina, finally began boarding shortly after midnight. The lone traveler told her insider he felt awful for making the American Airlines crew show up just for him. No, I have a story input on that one, but the flight attendant got a laugh out of the situation and soon turned it into a private party, quote unquote, in the sky that Stringer captured and posted to TikTok. When you buy every single ticket on the plane so you don't have to deal with people, Stringer wrote on TikTok, just kidding, it was delayed 18 hours and everyone else gave up. I don't blame you.
Not a single thought was given this
So
day.
interjection here. There are people who are on standby. They have to show up for their shift, and it's all over the nights too. And it lasts for 3 to 4 nights because my sister, being a flight attendant, has to do that on periodically. So her get started at 5 a.m. one morning and last until 5 o'clock then following night. So yeah, so they do have people that have to be on standby because there are months and off months. Say, and so the off month people have to, this is how they make their living for the month. It's called reserve. The video shows more than 15.4 million views, show the flight attendants cracking up and cheering for one another as they ran through the required announcement and demonstration for the audience of one. He reported it into their loudspeaker messages and said, "Yeah, Phil, this message is just for you," Singer told Schneider. The traveler told the outlet that he initially thought he was late to board when he didn't see anyone else lining up at the gate. Okay. I went to the gate and nobody was there. Did you guys already board everyone? He said. The flight attendant was like, "No, honey, you're the only passenger."
So yeah, that's kind of basically the gist of the story. He just like his original flight that he was saying just getting delayed. There was another delay, and I believe there was a third delay, which sucks. You're trying to make a flight, right? You just get pushed. The thing was that every time, once around the second delay happened, you should I would day after the, well, okay, depending on how many delays for you would you have to wait, Liz, until for wherever you're going to transfer the flight into another.
2 delays.
You would say probably 2 delays? I would say 2 too.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, because I feel like by 2 delays, you should have an idea. Okay, how many of us are still sticking around from the original flight that were supposed to be on there? And I bet you 10 out of 1, there was already 50 of people already moved on to different flights to get to where they were going. So, because they actually have obligations of why they're getting on this plane, right? So, for traveling, catching up, whether it be a car or whatever. So
yeah, at that point, At that point, you you're at the point where you're at that delay. So some people from the original flight were like, oh wait, I can't wait. I got to transfer. You got to transfer the plane. So by the time the third delay happened, he was trying to do that. Everyone already mostly got those seats, so he couldn't transfer. So he ended up just taking a nap at the airport to then wake up to this surprise, which is a very interesting, unique surprise. I'm not gonna lie.
I've heard this story happening probably a handful of times too beforehand. So it's not the only thing. I mean, it does happen. There's somebody advertises. That's the other question. So
true. This is where then social media kicks off, and this we'll get to the next part of the story. It's just like kind of the joke is like, oh, he's the only passenger in the flight. Usually when you get these things, it's like people being kind of like, oh, I bought every seat on this plane, or I bought every seat in this movie theater to watch. And it's like, no, you were the only person who wanted to go see that movie. You were fortunately the only person who was in this flight. Situation like that, it's like, oh, yeah, it's just circumstantial. But people, if you joke about it, and people could probably catch snippets of our shows and just like without context, just snip it and this is what they actually, and they can take it out of context and like, yeah, no, guys are horrible people, and like you don't know the full context. Like the full context is like he got stuck. He was patient enough to wait for his flight, and he just got fortunately not a free flight, but a private flight, and just kind of relaxed on these flights compared to what we were talking about last week about the wheelchairs bounds and the awkward
wait, our flights might be changing sitting situation soon.
So no, he had the whole place to himself, and you know what? Sometimes that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Start blasting.
It is kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it worked out. I mean, the patrons got paid. The pilots got paid to do that. Probably a 4-hour flight? Yeah, roughly, give or take.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll see how that because like for the most part, I think we're both on the side where it's like happy accident. Continue from.
It's pretty cool though. I mean, I think they were hoping he wouldn't show up, but at the same time, they're like, "Well, we would like to get up in the air and get some pay."
So yeah. All right then. Give me 1 second. I need
Okay, so where are we at then? What are we doing next?
Okay, so what we're doing next. Let's do. There are two. Here we go. There are two stories. Do you want to do how? Let's continue. Let's stay in New York.
Okay, which one are we doing?
So, nursing home owners stole $83 million while neglecting residents. New York lawsuit says.
Okay.
So,
am I reading it?
I'll read it.
Yeah.
So, okay. New York Attorney General on Wednesday accused nursing home owners Centers Healthcare and its owners of stealing $83 million in government funds while understaffing its facilities, resulting in widespread neglect, illness, and death amongst residents.
Damn. Feel sorry for Grandma and Grandpa.
Bruh. In a lawsuit filed in the state court in Manhattan, Attorney General Lita James sought to block 4 centers nursing homes in New York from admitting new residents until they sufficiently staff and to hire financial and healthcare monitors to oversee their compliance. James is also asking for the court to force centers, its owner, Kenneth Roseberg, and Darlene Hegler, and others, whatever, just these people alleged involved in the funds to return the stolen money. Senator spokesman Jeffrey
Chikokomitz
said in a statement that the company's pride itself, I like this, it prides itself in its commitment to patient care and wholeheartedly denies allegations.
Allegations? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We will fight these spurious claims that the facts on their side. James said that Roseberg, Hegler, and the others used complex networks and companies and sham contracts to pocket $83 million in Medicare, Medicaid, and other funding meant for patient care over the last decade. Kind of what we were talking about.
Damn, $83 million. That's a lot of money.
Like
what? Maybe 4 people we're looking at? That's a lot of money.
talk about, we're still in New York, man. They're having issues with like their education system, their medical system. Man, people are just taking money.
Smoke, just everything.
So, but while they were taking the money, meanwhile, residents of 4 New York facilities suffered horrific neglect and mistreatment, and according to the lawsuit. Among numerous examples cited in the complaints are a man who died of sepsis from the untreated bed sores, a woman who suffered brain damage after falling out of her bed and receiving no treatment, and a man with dementia who was left at a facility unsupervised.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
And these are just the ones.
Whoa.
These are just the ones that are reported. Imagine the ones that aren't. Right. Residents are routinely left in soiled diapers for hours, and call for help were ignored. The lawsuits say.
Oh.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, centers failed to provide masks to staffs or follow infection control measures. More than 400 residents died during 2020, and in four New York nursing homes, partly as a result of these failures.
Damn.
The defendants used a variety of schemes to extract money from centers used nursing homes. For example, who owned the real estates charged the operating companies owned by residents exorbitant amount of rent. So they like, oh, yeah, you need to pay this amount of money to rent this location. That's how you like, and like, okay, your buddy who's like,
probably resulted to scheming.
Yeah,
because to pay that rent. Damn.
Well, no. So it's like saying, like, it's like this. It's like, Liz, I own this like high-end location for a business you want to start, and you're getting a loan from the company, the government. So to kind of like, you know, you're getting that much money for the government. All right, Liz, you know, I'm charging you this much amount of rent, so you guys can both pocket more money. That's kind of what's happening here. So like, you know what?
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
he's really just lying basically about the rent cost. Got it.
Yeah. Like, oh, yo, no, the rent is this much money. And then, you know, you might get a little on the side too.
Okay, now that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what a staffing company owned by Rothberg's daughter was paid millions of dollars more within the family, although it had no contract.
Nepotism. Damn nepotism.
The defendants of the transfer funds between the entities they controlled with no interest loans, many of which were never repaid, according to the lawsuit. Centers also operate facilities in New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Kansas. So yeah, it's another case of just money being, man. New York is not having its day. It was on fire just a little bit ago. Not on fire, but it was like burnt red. God, man.
I know.
Man, what's up with people, Liz? What's up with people?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the nepotism involved in there, the scheming, the lying. Somebody's pocketing this money. I think they should start doling out this money before all the people who need that money.
Well, the thing
I would like to buy a place.
Well, the thing is that the people that needed the money were getting neglected because all this money was for the medical people. And as someone from the medical field,
I mean, I see these cases day in and day out. You know, I have a lot of cases from homes, whether that be adult foster systems, memory cares, just assisted livings, independent livings. I mean, anybody and everybody is basically coming through when there's like a fall or they're not acting right or, you know, just this and that, you know. It's crazy. Crazy. I so much money. Wow, the extortion. Wow, what's up with all this extortion or fraud going on? Yeah, I am just flabbergasted. That it pains me for somebody who died of sepsis from a bed sore. You know, we see that stuff all the time. It's not great. You know, we deal with it. I feel so sorry for those people. They're not getting moved and they're being in the soiled diapers for hours on end. Oh, it's like a baby in a diaper. Like, would you want to be in a diaper for 24 hours? That's all you get. You one diaper for the whole fucking day. You gotta pee and poop in that and you gotta feel it all day long.
You know what? If I end up in a diaper, that's when I'm like, I'm done. No, that's where my situation. You know what? I'm good. But yeah, it's horrible. It's one of those things where all the money that's meant for the people to be put in what you hope to be a reasonably positive, it's not always positive, but a reasonably positive situation where that you have to, most of the times it's in these places. What are these? What were they? Kind of nursing homes. Yeah, these nursing homes where a lot of people put their older family members,
grandparents or moms or dads,
and you hope for the best. Like, okay, we're gonna put you in here and help with everything, and then you sign paperwork, medical paper. I'm like, okay, it should be all set, and then like, not all the help that you think they're getting is like nothing.
I honestly would say that during the pandemic, we did see a decrease in staffing for those locations. So I don't know if everybody was making a profit out of this stuff, but we did see, because I would be trying to get a hold of the facility for the MAR, the medication advancement record, because some of these people do not give their own medications. They're given doled out by the med techs there, and makes me wonder.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope everything goes well or it doesn't go well.
Or the families get some restitution for this. I mean, that's a lot of money they spent in thinking that their family is being taken care of.
Is it really money being spent? Isn't it most of those like Medicare stuff like through the government?
Well, Medicaid, yes. Medicare is just saying they're old enough to be taken care of, to be on Social Security, basically. But you still have to pay out of pocket. Everybody who's over 65 would know that even though you have the red, white, and blue card to cover for hospital stays and like hospital, stay, just in general, it doesn't cover your health care. So you have to pay out of pocket. So people who are on Social Security are taking that money, say they're allotted only $2,000 a month. That's their mortgage that they still have to pay if they still, or rent that they're still paying, and then they put doling out to their health insurance. So your health insurance could be $100.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we're saying, like, you know what I mean? And then that's whatever's left is whatever's going towards like your phone bill, your internet, your food. So think about it, $2,000 you're getting, and you have to pay them so much money too a month. So that's your living,
I see. Okay, thank you for that explanation. But yeah, it's let's see. Let's hope for most part. I hope the people who are under. What is the name of the company again? Center. Anyway, I hope they.
It's a shitty company. It's a shitty company. I hope they get their act together.
So let's continue on. The next story. What do you want to do? Stay in the darker side.
Oh, it seems like we're on the dark side of things. I mean, we did flip flop to a lighter thing, but now it feels like we have to hit the dark side again.
Do the one about the mother. I'll let you read that one.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we were going that dark. Charges dropped against mother and son in deadly West Pullman shooting. Video shows man punching woman. Damn. You know what? There was a couple shootings next to my sister recently. I'll have to tell you about that. Chicago. Cook County prosecutors have dropped murder charges against a woman and her 14-year-old son in the shooting death of a man during a fight in a West Pullman restaurant. After a video came to light, the man punching the woman before her son shot him. Carlisha Hood, 35, and her son had been charged with first-degree murder in the slaying of 32-year-old Jeremy Brown on June 18th at the Maxwell Street Express located in the 1600 block of South Halsted Street. Hood, who was a valid FOID card and concealed trade license holder at the time of the incident, was also charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Okay, come on, load up. All charges against both Hood and her son were dropped on Monday. In a statement, Cook County State Attorney Kim Fox's office said that this decision was based upon a continued review and in light of emerging evidence. Based upon the facts, evidence, and the law, was unable to meet your burden of proof in the prosecution of these cases, Fox's office added. Hood walked free from the Cook County jail and embraced her family hours after the charges were dropped on Monday morning. She was declined to comment as she was released, but her attorney and family said they were relieved that she's back home, saying justice finally had been served. Prosecutors earlier had acknowledged the shooting was caught on video, according to the prosecutor, who was in line waiting for food while her son waited in the car shortly after Brown entered the restaurant. Video posted on social media showing Hood arguing that Brown inside the restaurant. In the argument, Hood began texting her 14-year-old son, who was waiting outside in the car. Surveillance video showed the restaurant show the teen entered the restaurant, and cell phone video from the inside shows Brown punching Hood at least 3 times in the head and face. Damn!
So yeah, yeah. For the most part, yeah, we kind of get it. So imagine if people didn't record. We joke about like everyone just pulls out their phones and records stuff. Imagine if no one recorded that. Both the mother and son would be in jail.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because we're
got it out.
Because for the most part, you are, you're. Wait, is it? Oh my god, I always forget. Are we innocent until proven guilty, or is it guilty until?
Yes, it's innocent until proven guilty. Yes.
Yeah, but it sometimes feels like you're guilty until you're proven innocent. Sometimes at this point.
But sometimes people who are innocent are still found guilty, even though there's no evidence. It's all circumstantial.
Because at this point, from this original story, minus without the evidence of the original video of the individual punching the mother, like anyone would want to defend a family member or someone or their friend from being assaulted. But imagine if it just looked like you were the one that just shot an individual and there was no evidence of self-defense, basically, right? And you were like, oh no, you and the individual who was getting attacked, the one who was getting attacked is going to jail. And I'm like, wow. Like,
I totally understand. I mean, I'm glad I think the son was trying to bring the gun to his mother because she's the one who's carrying, obviously. And he probably was trying to help protect his mom. I mean,
well, that's what would he,
wrong.
That's exactly what was happening. And it's just like, the thing is like with just the normal evidence outside the like extra evidence, it just looked like he shot an individual. Like, oh, just another shooting. And it was due to the light of more evidence. I was like, oh yeah, no, they were defending themselves. And because without that evidence, they would be in jail for a good chunk of time for being.
Yeah. Well, for him, he'd probably be in juvie, but depending on the law situation, for him shooting the gun, will he be tried as an adult? That's the other question.
It's Chicago. Yes. The answer is yes, Liz. The answer is yes.
Yes, true. Sure.
But no, yeah. But it's true. It's interesting to like sometimes, yeah, you have to be recording at all times. You just never know. You hopefully someone else is recording at all times, because it can save you from these like moments of like uncertainty.
I thought being most places, restaurants and stuff like that would have, or even like a fast food restaurant, he usually has a camera and they're kind of monitoring things too. So I'm surprised there wasn't a camera from that end from the restaurant.
So maybe some restaurants just care more of the entrance and things like that. Some people don't really care about that level of security, or just care about, like, I've seen some cameras just keeping an eye on the registers, kind of from that point, just it takes a good chunk to get a security system. I've set up security systems. They aren't cheap to run, but if you, it's all one of those things. But I'm glad the evidence turned out to be in the positive. Yes. And it just sucks that the family had to suffer even more after they already suffered from the assault.
Yeah.
So
what about her injuries? Was she taken care to the hospital to take care of her injuries? I mean,
so is there any?
Not like they ran from the scene. That would have been the guiltier,
Is there any more to this? Because at the moment they're trying to just like sue the county police for this level of injustice, which rightfully so. They neither Hood nor her son.
Oh no, he was charged as a juvenile.
Okay, neither Hood nor her son had previous crime records. Hood is planning to file a lawsuit. Yeah, they're planning to file a lawsuit. $3 million bond. That's a lot of bond. Because if I remember right, we looked into it. You have to pay to get out of a bond. You need to pay like 10% of it. 10% of.
Who's got $1 million rolling around?
Well, 10% is $30,000.
30,000. No.
Who has $30,000
Oh.
from? That's a lot of
He
money.
still has $30,000.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm glad for Hood and her son. They got out of it. It's mentally scarring on top of that because they've whatever situation they got into originally being that.
Oh, and they're probably in PTSD mode now too. All the police, oh shit, you know.
So here's hoping they get something out of this horrible situation because in this day and age you just we read about these stories so much and it's just like you know you were there just to grab a burger. You were there to grab a burger for lunch. It's like the other day I was literally saying that I was out with my family, we grabbed lunch, and if just some random person while we were grabbing a burger started assaulting us, like you just crazy. Like you would do anything to protect your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's no I would have somebody go and be like, here, hold my own, record this shit. Because they're beating up on my family right now.
So yeah, I'm hoping for the best. The outcome. The outcome's a little bit more positive now than it was when they first got arrested. And now let's hope they can get even more positivity from. Let's continue with the positivity, and that was donating money.
Oh yes.
So here we go. So a man accidentally donated $15,000 instead of $150 to a food relief fundraiser, and chaos ensued. Like when you're inputting little things, you're like, you might have accidentally moved the decimal point. So
too many zeros.
Like, I want to donate I want to donate $10. Oops, I donated 100. I wanted 1,000. Oops. Okay. A man's huge mistakes paid off big in the end.
Oh, really? Okay.
On May 26th, Redditor Lazy Bear 90 posted on almost unbelievable stories or on their Today I Fucked Up subreddit, which has gone viral. In it, the California resident detailed an experience donating to a charity at GoFundMe that was sideways in a grand way. A few grand, actually. This happened in February of last year, but my friends have been telling me I need to post this story online. Here it goes, nothing. Wrote the Redditor user who asked before to be referred by his first name, Michael. My wife and I, both 31 years old at the time, moved into a new apartment building in San Francisco. Michael wrote, adding that one of the neighbors is a retired veteran in his 70s who is also a devout Hindu priest. One day, Michael ran into his neighbor who tells him about the hunger charity he's managing for the community in Bangladesh. I want to support my neighbor and his charity, said Michael. Michael said that the next day at work, he went to GoFundMe page for the charity, one named Urgent Food Relief Needed Bangladesh, and donated $150, or so he thought. Moments later, he gets a text on his phone warning me that an unusual large transaction on my credit card. Michael wrote, I'm confused, and swiped to open the text message. It says I have made a payment of $15,000.41 to the GoFundMe.
$1.
Immediately,
that's involved.
I'm immediately sweating. How could I donate $15,000? And there's a post of where on GoFundMe you can see like a leaderboard, kind of a little bit like, yo, you donated this much money. Let's see here. Why can't I move the article? Oh no, the article's there it goes. The article's moving. Michael said that then he retraced his steps and found out that he didn't leave the donation amount window when he thought he did, typing the numbers 4-1 in addition to his intended donation. It seems he had accidentally started typing my credit card information while my cursor was still on donation, but it's like the 51 became 15. Yikes. After some panic moments, he called GoFundMe customer support, securing him a refund. He said that he was informed it would be processed within 3 to 7 business days, and that the charity organizer would be able to see his donations until then. I tell him that's a big problem, as the entire GoFundMe had already raised that much at that point.
Hardly raised that much at that point.
Oh, man, see here. Surely they would notice that their fundraising doubled overnight. Michael said that he planned on explaining what happened to his neighbor at the GoFundMe organizer as soon as he could, but he had a rude awakening the next morning. I looked at my phone and saw I had 40 notifications on Facebook. Someone had sent me a friend request and had liked many of my old posts and had sent me messages. Michael wrote, immediately I was concerned that when I saw individuals messaging me and had Hindu names, and I never could imagine what I saw when I opened his first message. The man had sent me a video of himself from Bangladesh surrounded by dozens of impoverished and hungry people holding bags of food, thanking me by name for my generosity, and adding to the people in the video giving me a round of applause. At this point, I leapt out of my bed. I'm pacing. Part of me wants to scream. Part of me wants to crack up laughing. Michael said that the man who runs the operation for the charity in Bangladesh sent multiple pictures of the people thanking him for his 5-figure donation. To prove that links to the images themselves, literally hundreds of photos of frail, elderly, disabled, and malnourished individuals holding signs with my name. That's kind of nice. It's one of those things like, thank you for donating. The charity is host incredibly generous and understood that he explained that the 150 goes a very long way in Bangladesh for urgent food relief. Ultimately, I think the whole experience was a win-win. I helped a great cause and I got a funny story out of it. The story doesn't end there. Thanks to the power of the internet, Michael's smart decision to link the second GoFundMe for the same charity and the urgent food relief and assistance in Bangladesh happened. People from Reddit moved from the story to donate to the fundraiser and left the organizer, Jeff Dunham, know that the Reddit post brought them there. Heard the story, the guy on Reddit who accidentally donated $15K instead of $150, but bumped it up to $1,500. A great story. Went to do my part. So one participant who donated $100, the person in one of my more than 3,700 contributors to the fundraiser, which donating amount to $5,000. 2 weeks ago, a donor story went viral online, bringing over GoFundMe to over 2,800 amazing donors from across the planet. Reddit doors that were closed to us before are now open. Resources which were out of our reach are now available, wrote the organizer in the June 10th GoFundMe update. Additionally, popular YouTube channel Smosh Pit presented the story on June 18 as part of its series, Reading Reddit Stories. Oh, yeah, that's where I read it originally. That drove more donations to the charity. Many people commented on the GoFundMe that they heard it on Smosh, and the fundraiser is over $118,000 now.
Wow. So some good came out of this. This is great. It got me a little bit of chilled. I like that. Wow.
So yeah, it's one of those things for a simple mistake, kind of like, oh fuck, I made a really bad mistake. 15K, I don't have 15K. And then you're like, you know what? A simple phone call. People forget. You can just, might take a little bit to be on the phone on hold for a bit, but you know, they can figure it out. Oh, it was a mistake. We can get it fixed, things like that. But then when you're kind of more like in this situation where he knew someone like that was part of the organizers, like, oh God, sorry, I did not donate. And then getting slapped with the next day, like hundreds of people thanking you. That just feels bad. Like, oh, like all the good you tried to do. You were trying to do something nice. You know, that's nice. To donate, when you have the ability to donate and have that excess income, you know, it does, it helps. It does help. Depending on what, honestly, depending on the charity. Some charities are pretty scummy, but with a little research and you can find the right ones to donate. But besides that, before that tangent, it is good to help. It's just when you things like this, like ooh, and then just to get the exorbitant amount of happiness that there's like hard to kind of like pull away from. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like ruining hundreds of people's happiness. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
That,
I think that's, honestly, it's a great. I think it's amazing. This it turned out even better than I anticipated. I mean, a lot more people donated, and got
yeah,
a lot more money, and that's awesome. That's great for them.
that's the other thing. It's
Applause. I
like
mean,
it's when you then admit to the internet what you did. Like you going on Reddit.
yeah, it was an accident, but yeah, he wind up dropping, a couple zeros, but I mean, zero, but I mean, that's still great. 1,500 goes a long way for the people in Bangladesh. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
And then going back and mentioning it on Reddit, like I said, you have to going
And then it
on.
blows up from there. Like today, I fucked up. That is awesome. Like that's a great way to fuck up.
I'm like,
Because
yeah,
I think that fuck up wind up being a great fuck up for everybody else included.
because it ended up
So.
there and it ended up on a popular YouTube channel, and then more eyes. It's just more eyes on more eyes on more eyes. Having
More donations, some more donations.
because for the most part, like having a $100 donation is good, but having a $1 to $5 donation, quick simple one, adds up. 100 people donating $5 is $500. They add up. So just from a very positive way to this story. So let's then jump into our own Reddit story. Getting to our tell them about the shirts while I find this, Liz.
Oh yes. So everybody go to our merch Dominus.com. We have our second inspiration shirt, the cage. It's a very fun one. It's only here for another 4 more weeks. Is that right? Correct?
Yeah, 4
Remind
weeks.
me.
4 weeks. Yeah, 4 more weeks.
4 more weeks where we have that shirt on file, and then it goes away forever. Dun, 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 dun. So please, merch.dominus.com. If not, you can always buy other merch. That helps us support us. That definitely helps us, keep the show running. We appreciate if you do. We have shirts, we have mugs, we have bags. Tote us around. So honestly, it's a great way to contribute. It's word of mouth. Just sharing us with the world via mouth. That's the same thing. Like that Reddit post, you can always share it by telling your friends, tell them to subscribe to us, because all those subscriptions helps us out and getting us a little more livelier on your favorite platform to listen to us.
All right then. All right, Liz. I'll let you read.
What was the die number, please?
Number 1, actually.
Again, number 1. Okay. Ooh, this could be interesting. Let me open up this in Reddit. Am I the asshole for screaming at my husband and his sister to get out of my kitchen? Ooh. My husband's sister, 38, lives with us and our kids. I'm well beyond fed up with her being here because of food issues. That's the only reason. So basically, every single time I make food, his sister will come in and doctor up the food I'm making to her liking. Like I made steak and shrimp the other day, like Applebee's. So a steak and surf and turf menu.
For the most part, yeah.
I would like some surf. I don't even get surf and turf that often. And she waited until I left the room to put a stick of butter in my shrimp that was already done. And when I came back, she goes, "I'm pretty sure that's the taste you were looking for," and completely ruined it. It was trash. Or whatever I was making the spaghetti will start dumping sugar in the sauce to point the sweet spaghetti that me and my kids outright refuse to touch because it's nasty. It is gross. Who puts sugar in?
Oh God!
Every single time she can get away with it, she's doing something to the food. She's a bad doctoring to the food. And these kids don't even like it. So I'll tell you something. Anyways, my husband has started doing the same thing. I want to make some homemade mac last night and cheeseburgers. Oh, that's cool. It's a really good dish. I went to the basement into the trash freezers to grab the veggies I needed, and when I came back upstairs, my husband was putting canned chicken in the mac and cheese, and he knows the kids absolutely hate the taste of that. And his sister has pushing blocks of blue cheese in them partially cooked burgers. I asked what the fuck they thought they were doing, because I have told them so many times to stop fucking with the food, and neither of them had any good excuse other than we just were helping. I flipped out and told them to get the fuck out of my kitchen. Both of them told me I was overreacting, etc., etc. The thing is, I openly asked my sister-in-law to cook several times, and she won't. But she won't stop fucking with the food I'm making. My husband cooks often and doesn't care if he screws with the food he makes because it royally pisses me off when my cooking is messed with, and he knows that. Am I the asshole?
Okay.
Dude, the kids don't like it. Why the hell would you fuck with it? Kids don't like it. Stop messing with the damn food.
I wonder what's up with this.
Ugh.
No, like I know of sweet sauce, but man, there's a limit to sweet sauce. Like that's still too. When personally, like everyone has preferences, right? But at least for me, when I think spaghetti, I think more of a tang to my thing, because I've been getting away from like the ketchup taste of tomato sauce and more into like the vinegar side of tomato, because ketchup is a little on the sweeter side. But I don't want my spaghetti to taste like ketchup, you know. But
that's, I mean, like, ketchup's not good either. So
hey, ketchup's fantastic. No one denied that.
And look at that shit.
But anyway,
I don't know.
Anyway.
Ketchup now. I try not to use ketchup as much as possible if I can. Like it's a side dish. It's just a condiment. It's not anything else. It doesn't go anywhere else.
Oh wait, well I don't put ketchup in my sauce. Oh no, that's a condiment, Liz.
It's a condiment, yeah,
exactly,
but like
it's a condiment.
Not a single fuck was given this day.
Liz, ketchup is a condiment. You know that, right? You know that?
Yes, I know that.
Yes.
Okay, I know.
Good.
I know.
You should know that. Ketchup is a condiment.
I do. I do more cooking than you do.
Liz, ketchup is a condiment. Okay.
It doesn't complement the food. Okay.
All right. As long as you remember, it's a condiment. But anyway, I don't know what's up with this sister. This sister is just fucking things up. Like, does she just like messing with the food? Does she not eat the food? Like, what's okay? So when it comes to, at least when you're having a meal, like if you're visiting, you know, to come, like if you're helping, that's nice, good. But if you're like getting to the point where it's like fucking up the food, don't fuck up the food. You know, people are eating this.
You're wasting food. That's just terrible. It's gross on so many levels.
And then what's up with the husband then doing it too? And it doesn't.
You know, if he wants to cook, he should have offered to cook dinner that night. I mean,
at that point, yeah, she's not overreacting. There's a point. There's a breaking point. This is a breaking point moment. There's like these are the moments where we talk about breaking point. Like I'm gonna say in quotations, joke. You can joke things for a point, but when it gets too far, like you've been doing it too much, stop doing it. You're in my space. I'm trying to do something. In this case, cook for the family, and you're just fucking it up. And it doesn't. As far as the sister, she doesn't like. How about you cook? And like, no, I don't want to cook. Like, then don't be here. Like, go hang out, and the food will be ready in like an hour. Like,
yeah,
and the husband should know better at this point. Like why?
My wife is cooking. She's, you know, that's her dish. Leave her dish alone. If he wanted to cook, he should have offered to cook instead of her. Fair point, you know? And again, his dish, he can make it however he wants to. Of course, the kids, that's going to be the tricky part, trying to get them to eat. Because I know my kid's picky. I know that my dad made me eat things that were still disturbing me, giving me PTSD to this day.
Bro, wait.
Bruh.
There we go.
Emotional damage.
So, I mean, yes. It's not fuck up food.
Okay, let's see
it's
some of these
food
comments.
as solid as it is.
Not the asshole, especially considered just making your job harder by making your food inedible for your kids. Your sister-in-law has overstayed her welcome. And then there's this. Oh, whoa! You want to read this like really intense statement by Purple Ariden?
Purple. Where's it at?
It's under Link. Or you want me to read it?
You might want to read it. I have not found
Work
it
out
yet.
a policy program with your kids and make it fun. Make homemade sheriff badges and get them an air horn. Teach them what you are doing so they learn how to cook. And if they want to be inventive, they can add stuff with your guidance. Every time you have to leave the kitchen, they are on guard. Get them to blow the air horn if your husband or sisters come into it, even for a drink. They have lost their kitchen privileges. Okay. Lost their kitchen privilege while you are cooking because they have no integrity or respect for your work. Teach your kids those words too. If the food gets tampered with, the kids will go out for food. Your husband and your sister get to eat whatever they fucked with. I know the budget might be tight for this, but I think it would do if you do this calmly for at least 3 times, the message will get across. Between Chipotle and some other of the healthier fast food options, Chipotle is not healthy, it is garbage. It shouldn't be too bad for the kids. If your husband complains about the waste, it has its choice to be passive aggressive and not respect what you know your kids like and making it edible in the first place. Oh, Liz just made a comment about that. If you have a good relationship with your in-laws, maybe you can get them on board. Even better, maybe you can even go on vacation, just you and the kids, and let the siblings figure it out on their own. But yeah, it's one of those things that you kind of get the kids on your side. Like, all right, if daddy and auntie try to come in the kitchen while I'm cooking, use these air horns, protect the food.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That is an awesome idea. It's not using the punch, you're just making them understand how this, respect the boundaries. It's boundaries. It's basically boundaries. Respecting the boundaries of, the food, the
space.
The space, the person, that is cooking the dinner. I mean, it's basically what it is. It's not anything other than that. And you want to be able to teach your kids, okay, if people was messing with you or your food or anything in your space, you want them out of your space. That's just it. You gotta tell them their boundaries. They have space, they have boundaries. They shouldn't be invaded and shouldn't be violated with manipulations of really strong bad food.
Exactly.
So I she's not the asshole. That's what I'm saying. LP is not not
No.
a.
You know what? She should have them eat stone soup.
Yeah.
Going back to
they
our
should be
original
eating their own
story.
food and make a difference. Or set the pans aside. These are your guys' pans. You can fuck with this food, but you can't leave these two pans to us. This is our food.
Make them eat the stone stir fry. Let them eat that and fuck with that.
Right? Stone soup. Eat stone soup.
There you go. So everyone, thank you again for listening and watching. For those who are watching on YouTube or Spotify, thank you. For those who are listening to us on any of the listening platforms, thank you. Always support us by sharing the word of mouth or on social media, or supporting us by purchasing some of our merch, which we are grateful for supporting us and to promote us visually. Liz, any final words?
No, enjoy, be safe. I know this is coming out right before the 4th of July, so.
Oh yeah, we completely forgot about that. Yeah,
I hadn't forgotten. I still remember because I'm off that day. So
lucky you.
Planted just how it happened.
But yeah, have a safe 4th of July if you guys are in the Americas, or at least the North Americas. But yeah, so thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time. See ya.
Bye.
I swear that I will never leave you. Fingers crossed, I swear that I will never leave